Nenkola ntyo okwewandiisa.
Kyangu nnyo waludde dda. Okwewandiisa mu nkola ya IFRIS genda ku kibanja kya URA www.
You are welcome to the third installment of the Customs 101 webinar on the implementation of digital number plates. This Friday, our discussion will mainly focus on the process of boarding off of motor vehicles under this new innovation. With me in the studio, I have Emmanuel Luponja, who is the Supervisor, Document Processing Center, Customs Department at the Uganda Revenue Authority. And then we are joined by the team from Ministry of Works and Transport. We have Gloria, who is the Senior Customer Care Service person at the ministry. So all your customer related issues, she's going to tackle them today. Then again, we are joined by Emmanuel Atalingaya, who is the process owner of the digital number plates. Apologies for starting late, so we shall dive right into it. Emmanuel, we shall start with the definition of what boarding of motor vehicles actually is.
Thank you, the moderator. Good morning, our listeners and viewers. Boarding off of motor vehicles. This is a scenario where you have acquired a motor vehicle that was registered and that was being owned by ministries, departments and agencies, for example, local government, central government, parastatals, or any other government institution. That vehicle was being owned by such institution, and you acquiring them, maybe through auction. Now you need to transfer this vehicle from the ministry, from the agency, from the department to you. What do you need to do? How do you go through this process? Where you are transferring that plate regime, for example, local government registered motor vehicle, central government registered motor vehicle, a parastatal, okay, blue number plate at URA, National Drug Authority, UNBS, and any other agency, or also those that were being owned by say duty-free persons, those that were as duty-free. You came from abroad, you own a vehicle, and you enjoy duty-free privileges at importation. And that vehicle is duty-free, and now you want to transfer it to another person. That process of transferring that motor vehicle, duty-free, local government, central government, from police, prisons, UPDF, all those categories is what we are calling boarding off. And therefore you will get an ordinary number plate. From the special category to an ordinary number plate. From blue to ordinary. From duty-free, ordinary. From local government, ordinary. Central government, ordinary. Diplomats to ordinary. All those special categories of plates being transferred to ordinary is what we are calling boarding off. What is involved here?
Yes.
One is the process goes through customs, okay? Because you are changing where you not pay or where you paid. There are cases where the previous person could have paid. For example, government pays taxes, and you're changing from that blue to ordinary. You will go through customs still, customs clearance. The first step is making a request for depositing the vehicle with the customs, because this becomes customs goods. You have to make a request to Transport Commission Affiliate Services to deposit the vehicle with customs. you'll get a response, and the vehicle will be deposited with customs warehouse. After depositing the vehicle with customs warehouse, they will generate for you a local manifest. Okay, that will now begin the process of a customs declaration. And the customs declaration is managed by licensed customs agent. That means you, the beneficiary, the person who's acquiring this vehicle, you must appoint a licensed customs agent from the using our URA web portal. You appoint this customs agent to help you to manage the process of clearing this vehicle. After you have appointed the agent, you will make an entry for you, what we call a CW7 entry, so that the details of the motor vehicle are input in the declaration. After the CW7 is made, they will be processed by customs. That's customs warehouse. They will release the entry. After the release, you will make the final entry for payment of taxes or for registration. Where taxes are due, where taxes are payable, you will pay. Where there are no taxes, you will not pay taxes. Now, on the declaration, the IM4 declaration that you are processing, this will be managed by DPC. The process of processing that end will be handled by DPC, a document processing center, where I sit or where I serve. The entry will be processed and released. After the release, that's now Ministry of Works comes in to register the motor vehicle, where you get a number plate as the ordinary number plate. How do you know that you are paying or you're not paying taxes on this vehicle? Because we have scenarios where taxes are payable, and also have cases where you're not paying taxes. If the previous category of number plate is duty free, that means at importation, the previous owner did not pay taxes. These could be cases of a vehicle owned by a returning resident, somebody who was living abroad and returned home and enjoyed the privileges of tax exemption on their motor vehicle. We have vehicles that are owned by tour companies under tourism sector. Those are vehicles that are exempted. That's why they have duty-free number plates. We have vehicles for persons living with disability. And now this person has sold those vehicles through, or they have transferred them to you, where you are now paying the taxes. Those ones you have to, the taxes are payable. One, you will need to know the value at importation. What was the value on that motor vehicle at importation? Okay, and then you'll be able to know whether the taxes were paid or not payable. If the entries are entries of 2015, these are entries 2014 onward. These are entries that we have in a Skoda motor vehicle. You know, we started from a Skoda World, then a Skoda Plus Plus, then a Skoda World. We have entries in a Skoda Plus Plus and entries in a Skoda World. Those in a Skoda World, we access them. This data is there. You just get the details of the number plate, details of the chassis number, and we are able to get these entry numbers, and you'll be able to know whether you paid or you did not pay. But those ones in a Skoda Plus Plus, we have the data set of these transactions. You can get this information from customs warehouse. Okay, customs warehouse, lodging a ticket to get the details of the data on such motor vehicle. That's 2013 and before. 2014, 2013 and before. That data is in a Skoda Plus Plus, can be accessed from customs warehouse through a touch point. So from there, you'll be able to tell whether you paid or you did not pay taxes. So where you paid, you will not pay, apart from paying for re-registration, because you are acquiring a new number plate. So you'll only pay for re-registration. Now, currently, we had before this digital number plate innovation came in, we had a number of CPCs that were using to clear boarded off motor vehicles. For example, 490 was taking care of all those motor vehicles that are in e-tax. For example, those for diplomat cars, duty-free vehicles, and we are paying taxes or not paying taxes. 490 would work for such motor vehicles. We have those for local government or central government or UPDF and police. They had that CPCs 425 where you're not paying taxes apart from withholding tax. We also had 407 for parastatals where you're changing from blue to ordinary, and where the parastatal had paid taxes at importation. We also use 407. Those were the CPs we are using before the digital number plate solution came in. But right now, our IT teams are developing new CPCs, okay, to match with the current development. So these ones are still being worked on, are being tested, and when they are ready, they will also be employed. I think that is a brief about boarding of motor vehicles.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for that submission. And thank you for tackling it on the side of the taxman. So I would like to invite the second Emmanuel from the ministry to tackle it on that side. What happens after customs process?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, our dear viewers. Thank you, Emmanuel, for bringing it out so clearly. So, boarding off, what it means to us on the register is we are changing the plate category and the owner of this vehicle at the same time. As Emma had said earlier, we are changing it from maybe duty-free, from government plate. We're changing it maybe from CD, diplomatic, to ordinary, where someone is going to pay taxes. Interestingly, there's also scenarios where you find that maybe it was a project vehicle, maybe there was a road project and the vehicle was bought by the contractor of that project. We have had these cases, and it's duty free, and it's now being transferred to the responsible entity, let's say KCCA or Ministry of Works. It will be boarded off from duty free to that entity. And now with the digital plates, for example, it would have to they would pay the taxes, yes, if it's coming to, let's say, Ministry of Works, it will be boarded off from the duty free number to the government number plate. So it will have paid taxes to be transferred to the MDA, and it will be assigned the the correct plate category. That is just one thing which I wanted to add. But on our side, as I said, we're changing the plate regime and we're changing ownership of the vehicle. And this process starts from when the unit has been deposited and declared. Fortunately, we are now part of that process because we are tagged those entries, and we'll be able to also review and confirm. On our point, we will untag them. We have actually been untagging board-offs. They are all of them actually are usually deposited under the government bond, and after that they will, when we have finished untagging, they will go ahead and print release. This print release will give them, again, now it follows the same process as that of first time registration, where the vehicle will have an MVR reference, and that's when the booking for the number plate comes in for registration. So we just as the way how we have planned this this program for these 3 days. Yesterday we talked about how the units are declared. So this one has to be declared following or matching the record of the vehicle. So one has to make sure, because remember, this is an already registered vehicle, and what we're doing is we're registering it with another plate regime. We have to make sure that the records are not mismatched. Now we are looking at the original record of the vehicle, the current state of that vehicle, how it has been boarded off, because it has documentation, the documentation that you've submitted, and how it has been declared. It's important to first be careful and make sure that, for example, if the engine number was XYZ and the chassis was ABC, it shouldn't be changed now when it comes to that declaration when we're going to register it as a board off. Because otherwise what happens there is that it's like registering another vehicle altogether. So that is mostly what we are trying to make sure happens in that process. It's the same vehicle. What we're doing is we're changing it from judiciary to be registered under Glory. Okay? Who is a taxpayer. And not registering another new vehicle altogether for Glory. I don't know if there's anything else that maybe Glory can add.
Maybe
Yes.
let me actually emphasize on that issue of the particulars. The particulars that are already in the register of the registered motor vehicle should not change, as Emma had mentioned, especially the chassis number and the engine number. Once you change the chassis number, that means we have a new vehicle at importation. And if it is a vehicle that was being owned by a returning resident, and you change the parameters, the particulars. For example, one of the characters on a chassis number was maybe 1, and you change it to I, which is a common practice. Somebody wants to change from 1 to I, or 0 to O.
Because of one reason or the other.
Or the other. This will be another vehicle. Now, me who enjoy the privilege of a returning resident, I might have another vehicle I want to clear. Okay? Because the law allows you to enjoy one vehicle after every 4 years. If I came maybe this year, I returned home, I got an exemption, that was maybe 2018, and then I went back after maybe 1 or 2 years, and I'm also coming back after another period, maybe 4 years or 5 years, and I'm getting this privilege of exemption. The system won't allow me to make another vehicle because it will be looking at the previous motor vehicle. That's where you change the I into 1 or O into 0. So the system won't allow me to make a declaration until that mistake is corrected. So I want to make that one very clear, that the particulars of the chassis number, of the engine number, should not change as registered previously by the previous owner. It's common that people try to change when they get a difficulty in the declaration, either the CPCs they're using not giving them what they want. So they forcefully make a wrong declaration, changing the chassis number, changing the engine number, and using a wrong CPC. And you get a challenge at clearance. You get a challenge at clearance process. I want to make to add on what Emma has just mentioned here. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Do you want to add something, Gloria?
No, I just wanted to emphasize for clients, ordinary taxpayers who purchase these cars on auction. So there is a big misconception out there that once I have bought my car from a UN auction, from a USAID, because now USAID is auctioning a lot of vehicles, they automatically come with the advert and their documents. They say, I want my vehicle in my names. And I think people need to understand that it's not as easy as you bought the car and now it's going to your names automatically. Please be cognizant of the fact that you need to actually board off this vehicle, understand the process, and be patient. So there's a lot of frustration that, oh, this is taking too long, because they do not understand what the nitty-gritty details are. If you need clarity, our office is open Monday to Friday. You can always send an email and say, I have done this and this, please advise. Also, to add on to this, do not fall prey to people you find around town who say, hey, I can do that for you. Please get as a licensed clearing agent, licensed by the URA, and you can find the details of these licensed agents on the URA portal. Please do not be scammed. Do not be asked to pay 50 million to board off a vehicle. Our office is open. Walk in, ask for help. And also, if you don't understand the process, send an email and we'll break it down for you. And we'll even give you the contacts of the Customer Care Service Center of URA who can give more information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Gloria, for that clarification. And so you will take us into the next conversation, which is an overview of the process of getting digital number plates. What happens afterwards?
Okay. So thank you so much, Jacqueline. Now, I'm going to speak on the digital plates acquisition following the boarding off. Like Mr. Bataringaya mentioned, when you finish the boarding off process and you've done validation, you need to get digital plates. So previously, people would come to your parking where the ABC people were, and they would get the number plates and take them and fit them. However, the digital plates process, when we have released the entry, whether you've done boarding off, whether it was a first-time registration, once the entry has been released by URA, UNBS, and then Ministry of Works, you need your agent to apply and request for an invoice via the portal of ITMS. How do they do that? They send an email to create their own account to portal@itmsug.com, and then they'll receive an invoice and make payment. We've gotten a lot of feedback from clients where the payment, let's say the car is going into Jacqueline's names. So the payment, when they go to pay in Stanbic or their preferred bank, the payment reference is Jacqueline. Please, that is the reason why, one of the reasons why booking links are delaying, because the reference is in a name, not the invoice number. When you're making these payments for digital plates, please quote the invoice number, which starts with an S. That way, it's easier to track that the payment has been made for a specific unit. After that, when the payment is received and reflected on the ITMS side, a confirmation email is sent to the consignee with a shareable link. We have had the feedback from the clearing agents that where the emails going to the consignee and not to them, we are working on adjusting the system to accommodate their request. But for now, the link that is shared is actually a shareable link. So the consignee can send it to the clearing agent for assistance if they don't know how to proceed. After that, the clearing agent will select the fitment center and date and time of their convenience. And then when you've finished selecting the date and time of your convenience, ITMS will send a booking confirmation, and then the clearing agent will take it on from there to ensure that plates are fitted, logbook is cleared, and the vehicle can move on the road. We understand that there's been a lot of miscommunication between who's doing what and who's doing what. If you need help, please send an email to ITMS and copy in inquiries. The email is on the screen. Please, we are here to serve you. We are here to assist you. We thank you for your patience in this time. It's been a very keen learning process for all parties involved, from URA to Ministry of Works to ITMS and all the other stakeholders. And we thank you for your patience. We are working to improve the service delivery. And we understand there's a lot of frustration, but we are working with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Gloria. So I'll dive into some of the questions that we have so far. And this is directly to Team Ministry of Works and Transport. We have issues of tax failure to close after the release of entries. And they give an example of an entry that has been stuck for a week now at the port. And there is no clear support team where such clients can be helped. Previously, it was the manufacturer of the number plate who would close the task to enable exiting. So who is currently helping on such issues? Manuel?
So now we need to first understand, because I recall this question clearly on the first day, on Wednesday. What we can do is maybe we simply didn't get the details, the actual details of that entry, but the process of print release, what changed about it was the allocation of the number plate. But otherwise, everything has remained unchanged. The clearing agent or customs or customs officer can submit print release order, and it's supposed to partially populate or partially register this vehicle on the motor vehicle register, triggering an email confirming this registration with the clearing agent and with the owner of the vehicle. If that email does not come up, then that means there's a system issue. Okay? As if because I need to understand what the viewer, I didn't get his name or her name. What exactly is failing? If it is that they're not getting the MVR reference, application reference, that means it's a system issue, and I would advise the clearing agent to actually raise a ticket with customs systems, with URS systems, to look into that matter. We have also had a few that we have also forwarded and raised. There's usually there may be some sort of system glitch that has not populated, or that has not allowed the motor vehicle details to be converted into an application for registering that vehicle on the e-tax register. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. We have a question from Rita, and this goes to Uponjo. Kindly clarify what values are considered when registering a boarded off motor vehicle.
Values.
This is a valuation question.
Thank you, Rita. We have a schedule for depreciation.
Yes.
Of the values at first importation, depending on the period of usage of these vehicles. Okay, so they look at the value. If the vehicle came, say 4 or 5 years ago, and the value was $10,000 at importation, that value will be depreciated to derive at the current customs value to use for boarding off process. And if the period is 4 years and above 4, 5, 7, 10 years, the depreciation schedule is 75%. So the value that will be used will be 25% of that value. So we have a schedule of depreciation depending on the period of usage of those vehicles. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. There is also a concern or a proposal. Do you plan on Ministry of Works, do you plan on having some of your staff in the bonded warehouses to facilitate clients in the future? For example, we have customs officers in different bonded warehouses. We
Yes,
have
yes.
UNBS. So,
Okay, so I would like to inform our dear viewers that actually we deployed staff, Ministry of Work staff, who facilitate the fitment and registration process for all vehicles that are in customs bonded warehouses. And what we did is we zoned all of the bonds. There's no vehicle that is allowed to move out of a bond before we fit it with a registration plate. There was a misconception. Members were thinking that because we have specific bonds where our staff are, where our staff, let's say, begin their days from, they thought that maybe that is where fitment is done from and vehicles have to move. But that is not the case. If your vehicle is in, let me give an example. Your vehicle is for example, at AutoLink bond, our officer, we have officers who move between AutoLink, Kadam, Aisha, and Star Auto. So the fitment is done in all of those bonds. And the reason why we zoned them in that way was you'd find that there's a bond which has frequent exits, many frequent exits, and you find another bond that is not as actively busy and having as many exits, okay, of vehicles, of motor vehicles. So an officer can actually facilitate registration in one bond and move on to the second bond and also facilitate registration there. And I think the service has been improving over time because our staff are actually visible in all the bonds. Unless if there's a particular concern from somewhere, which we can address.
okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. We have a question here from Edakas Isito. In a scenario where we have machines and the system has issues, what is the procedure for provisional release so that one can proceed to use the machines? Ponja, would you like to answer this?
Right.
Okay, provisional release.
Provisional release from the bond
Yes.
to be allowed to exit from the bond.
Yeah.
Actually, customs bonded warehouses are licensed and managed by URA, Customs Department. So, where there's a motor vehicle, which for one reason or the other, for example, we have noted vehicles that come in parts. Let's say it is a containerized truck and it's unassembled or not complete, and this person and we now would not be in position to register it because it is not yet ready for registration. And we also know, or we are cognizant that a lot can change in the process of putting it together. The buyer of that vehicle or the owner of that vehicle, maybe it has come when it is blue and they want to change the color and put maybe their company, because it's common with commercial vehicles. That's what we have noted. It comes in a container and it comes when it's in parts. So in putting back the parts together, you find that now they have to build maybe the back end, like to make it a box body. It has come when it's a bare chassis with where the driver can sit on the front housing. And this whole other back part, the box body, the the box or the truck carriage needs to first be built. I'm just giving an example. For such scenarios, they have to now still request the authority to allow them to exit it, assemble it, build the vehicle fully, have it ready for registration, and then you can come in and register it. These cases have actually come up, and we have actually accommodated them.
Yeah. I think so.
Because the request goes to the Assistant Commissioner of Field Services, and he responds to the request,
Yes.
copying
Us.
Ministry of Works to just so that we can know and make sure we plan for its fitment, because fitment that is outside the bond has to be authorized.
Okay.
Yeah.
And exactly, I need us to pick up from right there, that fitment of
Outside the
bond.
Yes.
Because that's the follow-up question. Someone asked if there's that
Provisional
provision
release.
and you enabling the client to assemble and then later fit the plates. What is the procedure?
So, of course, they have followed the procedure that we went through before.
Yes,
They have
yes,
paid
yes,
for the plates. The unit has now been assembled and they have booked. Now, the booking for the fitment, all that is listed in the booking are bonds, bonded warehouses. So what does this mean? This means that this person has to submit in a written request and attach that clearance from customs, which allowed them to exit. Okay, because we refer to that and we work with our service provider and advise the client or establish where the unit is. It has to be in a place where we can actually access it and carry out the fitment from there.
Okay.
Yeah. There are not so many. Yeah? There are not so many. And for some, actually, we have noticed for some, you find that the vehicle, yes, is taken to a garage or to an auto workshop. They do the build and they redeposit it back in the bond. And we come there and fit. For others, when it's at a convenient place, maybe at the site where the consignee operates from, we can come in and also fit from there. If it's a place that is proper, closed off, a place where we won't have interference with the registration process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification. Now, shall go back to the part in the conversation where we talked about the. Yes, you want to.
I just wanted to clarify something small.
Okay.
We are our service provider. Ministry of Works with our service provider, we are also setting up fitment centers for post-registration. Okay, so across the country, and still, for those same units that have been given provisional release, there will be instances, of course, or times where we'll say, bring the vehicle. Where are you located? Bring the vehicle to this fitment center, and then we work on it from there. Okay, so we'll be flexible enough to accommodate them.
Okay, all right. So talking about flexibility, and yet we talked about the details of the vehicle being they should match. So someone asked, what happens if the vehicle engine was changed due to mechanical issues?
Yes. If, for example, I have a number plate, say UAX, some number that is duty free, and in the process of using this vehicle, I change the engine. Of course, when you change such feature on a motor vehicle, it must be also in the system. You must apply for alteration with the parameter. You can also know that if the engine changes from ABC to DEV, G. So you should have DEG
On the system.
on the system, on that entry, on that UX sum number. Okay. So any change that you do on a motor vehicle, you must apply to Ministry of Works and they do the amendment in the system. So if the engine number changed in the course of using the vehicle, we shall now expect the new engine number. But the chassis number cannot change. The chassis number is what we had at importation.
Yes.
So that's why the chassis number is a unique identifier of the motor vehicle. That one cannot change. Yes.
Yeah, just to add, of course, also, it's important to keep or to maintain the records of the motor
change.
vehicle, okay, with us on the register. It has to be the correct records. So if you've changed your engine number, please make sure you update it on your logbook also, because there are instances where actually it is an offense to say that your vehicle is black on the logbook when physically it is white. It's actually an offense according to the Traffic and Road Safety Act.
Yes.
And this is part of what's going to be introduced. So we have to make sure that the record on the register is updated. That's what I would implore all motor vehicle owners, all of our taxpayers, all of our nationals.
Okay.
Okay. It's Gloria.
I would like to add on to that. So our dear taxpayers and owners of motor vehicles, when you have a problem, let's say your car is involved in an accident or you need to change the engine, please buy the engine or replacement from a reliable source that will give you a receipt, because when you bring the vehicle for alteration at Ministry of Works, we need you to provide proof of where you sourced that engine. And you must swear an affidavit as well, because we've had instances where people do not want to deregister the vehicles. They cut the vehicles into scrap, and they sell off these engines. So you'll find the engine you've submitted to us already exists in the system, which brings a point of contention. Now we're saying, how did you get this engine number? Can you provide proof? So we always encourage people, if your mechanic says, boss, engine eno twetaaga kufuna empya, mugambe nti sebo nange njagala receipt yange kubanga ministry matugamba tufune receipt eza engine empya. Then please note that when you make the alteration, make sure you ask us to give you your updated logbook so that you can confirm that the engine details have been updated in the system. Most people think, I brought the vehicle for inspection, that is enough. I don't need to pay for the form fees. So the form fees is 12,000 shillings, and that is what you need to pay. You'll get a PRN and you pay for it, and that is when we shall alter your details on the system. That way, when you're boarding off the vehicle, you do not have to start waiting and wondering why it's taking too long, yet the engine details were not updated. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gloria, for that. Emmanuel?
For all changes that you make, for all changes that we make on the logbook, each change is at a cost of 20,000 shillings for all alterations. Each alteration, you're altering the color to be 20,000 shillings for that alteration. You add on plus the form fees of 12,000. If it's a motor vehicle, there's also verification fee of 12,000. If you're making 3, 4, 5 different changes, it is easy. Maybe for 4 changes, that would be 80,000 for the changes, 12,000 inspection fee, 12,000 form fees. All of these are system fees. You will receive them on your team when you've initiated the application.
Okay, thank you so much, Emmanuel, for that. And then note, today would actually like to keep time. And so I'll give the panelists an opportunity to sign off. We have had an intense 3 days of explaining the implementation of the rollout of the the digital number plates. And this is our final episode. So, Emmanuel from URA, what would be your final remarks?
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, our viewers. I will take this opportunity to appreciate you for the feedback and also embracing the changes. These are the kind of engagement we need to have with you. It's how we get the feedback, how we improve our system. We shall keep on encouraging you to have the right information captured in the system so that we avoid the unnecessary delays, the queries, and so on. Let's have the right information captured. We shall have a seamless process flow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Gloria?
Thank you so much, Jackie. I would like to extend our gratitude on behalf of the Ministry of Works, Motor Vehicle Registration, to the URA team for accommodating us these past 3 days. We are very grateful for the opportunity and the feedback given. I would like to reiterate and tell our taxpayers that please, digital plates are 714,000 for the first time registration numbers. However, for the voluntary compliance, when you're switching from your UBS, UBQ, it is 150,000 shillings. Please do not be cheated outside. Do not pay more than you have to. It's 150,000 for motor vehicles and 50,000 for motorcycles. If you have any questions or inquiries, please send an email or call the number on your screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Gloria. And finally, the owner of this whole process, Emmanuel. Yes,
Landlord.
please.
The owner of the process is government. We are together in this. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you so much, our dear viewers, for your active participation. Thank you so much for your feedback. We do not take it lightly. In this process, we are growing, we are improving, we are getting better every day. Please, please, please take note. The number plate fees, as explained by Gloria, 714,300 shillings for first time registration, for registration of vehicles and motorcycles. 150,000 for plate exchange or replacement from the former plate regime to the digital registration plates. For motor vehicles, 150,000. For motorcycles, 50,000. Also, let us continue to work together. Let us make sure that we have a correct record of our motor vehicles, of our motorcycles, of what is registered in our names. Let us have an updated record and let us work together towards this innovation and for the growth of our nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the panelists, and thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for being a very active viewership, and we promise to have more of these engagements in the future. We shall, based on your feedback and what you've shared with us, to make sure that we tailor them more to answer the questions you have raised. In the meantime, these records can be found on our YouTube channel. So worry not if you tuned in late or you tuned in and had to move somewhere. Kindly go and check them out. Take your time as you go through them. Again, from the team at URA and the ministry, we say thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. And enjoy your weekend. Bye. It's all right.
Hello, landlady.
Hello.
I'm from URA. I'm here to remind you to register, file, and pay your rental income tax.
I'm on top of it. I've already registered, filed and paid my rental income tax.
Oh, wow. So rental income is the amount of money derived by a person for the year of income from letting land or buildings.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me get started.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Mama, you as an individual who earns more than 2,820,000 shillings a year as your rental income from this place, you will only be taxed 12%. A company like yours that earns rental income is allowed up to 50% in terms of expenses for the particular year of income, and the balance is taxed at a rate of 30%.
Wow, that sounds reasonable and fair.
Oh yeah, it's all about property prosperity and making well-informed financial decisions.
Wow, let's get started then.
Okay.
We call upon all landlords and landladies to register, file correct returns, and pay in time to avoid penalties that may come with failure to do so.